violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Gunfire erupts inside an upscale Buckhead restaurant. Right now, Piedmont Road is closed as police investigate a shooting involving one of their officers. Good evening. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Witnesses say they dove under tables as shots were fired at Fogo De Chao Brazilian Steakhouse.
No, they done shot up the Fogo De Chao. Oh, Lord, man. And if you guys don't know, man, the Fogo de Chao is a very good Brazilian steakhouse. It's basically like a buffet of different types of meats they bring out. Then they have a salad bar. Oh, man, it's amazing. It probably costs like $120, $130 to eat there. But it's definitely worth it. You can sit there all day and eat your food. And now the Super Gremlins have arrived.
We know at least one Atlanta police officer fired a weapon. One person was killed. No officers were hit. Fox 5's Alex Whitler is piecing together the rest for us. She joins us now live from the scene on Piedmont Road. Alex?
She cold.
Good evening to you, Russ. You can imagine this is the talk of the neighborhood tonight. One of Buckhead's most popular steakhouses, now the subject of an hours-long investigation. We mentioned Piedmont is blocked off. It's the northbound lanes from East Paces Ferry Road all the way down to Peachtree. Now, I'm just going to give you some perspective here. This is viewer video from when this shooting took place around 7 o'clock. Just take a look. This is from inside the restaurant, just moments after the gunfire. We've slowed it down and cut it before it shows anything gruesome. Now, police have been interviewing everyone who was inside the restaurant at the time of the shooting. Not even 30 minutes ago, they told us where this investigation stands. Just listen to this.
Again, the officers were responding to a 911 call by the business. The individual who was and also they saw.
You can't even hear, buddy.
Now, we've been working sources all evening. A witness who couldn't speak over the phone as she was still inside sent me a message on Twitter saying a man came inside the restaurant and was belligerent. Atlanta police confirm employees called 911. When officers arrived, they shot him, and a security officer was hit during the gunfire as well. Now, we did speak to a former employee who says she knows the person who was shot and killed. She says current employees told her about the shooting, and she came here hoping her friend was okay.
So her friend pulled up on demon time, and he ended up getting clapped by the police. And watch them blame the police. Watch this be the police's fault for the actions of this super gremlin on demon time. Okay, they said he pulled up belligerent. It's crazy.
He has no one here. He moved here by himself. So I'm here because I used to work here for one, and this is my close friend. And I don't know who's here for him outside of me. So
why does she have the lip gloss all over her face? Like, she just, what?
That's why I'm here today.
We're told that security officer was taken to a hospital and he is expected to survive. Atlanta police are still working to figure out what led up to the gunfire, why that man came into the restaurant the way people say he did. Now, as per protocol, the GBI is investigating. We'll be here throughout the night, ready to give you any further information as soon as it becomes available. Reporting in Buckhead, Alex Whitler, Fox 5 News.
We'll look forward to that and certainly see you on the edge. Alex, thanks very much.
We're going to begin tonight with some breaking news, folks. This is out of Buckhead, where Atlanta police say an officer shot and killed a man who allegedly shot a security guard at the Fogo de Chao restaurant.
Oh, so in the last story, they tried to make it seem like the security guard was also shot by the police when they shot him. Like maybe he was pointing the gun at the security guard and a stray bullet hit him, but he comes in Fogo de Chao acting belligerent, Then he shoots a security guard. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Let's get right out to our
She cold.
Paula Soro live on Piedmont Road, where it all went down just a few hours ago. Paula?
Yeah, and Jennifer, you know, we actually just saw an ambulance pull out of the restaurant about 30 minutes ago, and a couple minutes after that, the road here, Piedmont Road behind me, reopened, but the scene looked quite different just a few hours ago. I'll step out of the way so that you can see what the scene looks like right now. You can still see some Atlanta police cars out here, the GBI on scene as well. APD tells us a discussion began at the bar area of Fogo De Chao here on Piedmont Road, then moved towards the front entrance where an officer shot and killed a man. His friends tell us tonight that man was a former employee here. Atlanta police say they responded to a call of an unruly person at Fogo De Chao in Buckhead Wednesday night. When they arrived, a security guard tried escorting the man who was sitting in the bar area outside of the restaurant and deployed his taser,
which had negative effect on the subject.
So they tried to tase him. He shot a security guard. What else do you want the officers to do? They're trying to keep everybody else at this nice restaurant safe. I would have been sitting there eating my steak like.
Police say the man stood up to try to leave the restaurant, and the security guard then tackled him.
While tackling the subject was able to retrieve his weapon, the suspect's weapon, and fire one shot into the security guard, at which time one of our officers did deploy his firearm, fatally injuring the subject.
He's fun, bubbly, he loves to have fun, he jokes around.
Yeah, I told you guys, the demon time activities are fun for a lot of these super gremlins, man. Fighting a security guard, getting off on them, shooting people, that's fun for them. So the way that she's describing it, oh, he's bubbly, he likes to have fun, sounds like he probably got a big mouth and is a problem.
Lena Woodward, who says she's a close friend of the man killed and a former employee of the restaurant, says he used to work as a busboy at Fogo De Chao.
Like, I just got multiple calls. Nygil, I did hear Nygil got into a confrontation. I don't know with who, with whoever. I have no idea. And then the next call, like I said, 2 minutes later was he's gone. And what I did, I left from working out and I came here.
Several witnesses hid under tables. At the time, Ronald McNeil was on the phone with his wife, who says she was sitting next to the bar and tried helping the security guard.
She was just getting up off of the floor from trying to give towels to them as they were holding the security guard who also got shot. They were trying to put towels on his chest before the EMT got.
So he almost killed this security guard. Thank God that he's not dead.
To him.
And tonight, the security officer is in the hospital, but in stable condition. And APD tells us that a weapon was recovered from the scene. And they also tell us that the GBI is now investigating. And as mentioned earlier, GBI is still here on the scene.
Straight to that breaking news tonight, a deadly shooting involving an officer inside a popular Brazilian steakhouse in Buckhead. These are live images from outside of Fogo De Chao.
A family told us they were inside celebrating a graduation when a former employee fired a gun. We have video.
So he used to work there. They said he was a bus boy, and he pulls up on demon time.
Here tonight showing the moments right after the shooting. You can see people right away from their tables trying to see exactly what happened.
I want to give you a map here to give you a better idea of where exactly this happened. It's the restaurant on Piedmont Road between Peachtree Road and East Paces Ferry. Channel 2's Matt Johnson is there live for us. Matt, what have you learned tonight?
Wendy, this scene has been extremely active for the past 4 hours. Just within the last 30 minutes, one lane of Piedmont here has reopened while the GBI is investigating this deadly shooting that happened with a dining room full of customers inside. Police just gave us an update within the last hour to tell us the security guard who was shot is stable. The suspect is dead, and this all happened in front of horrified customers.
A deadly shooting inside Fogo De Chao in Buckhead left one man dead, a security guard injured, and customers frantically trying to get to safety. Video from inside the restaurant we obtained moments after the shooting shows police officers keeping customers back from the deadly scene. APD says an officer shot a former employee who was causing a disturbance after that man shot a security guard.
But our officers did a great job to isolate the subject to the front of the business where no patrons were in harm's way.
And shout out to these officers, because they saved a lot of other people, because a lot of times these super gremlins, they'll shoot the security guard, then boom, it'll kick in what they did, and then they're into the get rid of the witnesses mode. So you don't know how this shooting could have turned out. So shout out to the officers, man. They handled the situation and they did what they had to do, bruh.
Police say it all happened just after 7 o'clock on Piedmont Road Wednesday night. APD says the officer who responded to an unruly customer call used a taser on the man, but it had no effect. And that's when the man tried to run.
The security for the business was able to tackle the subject.
That's when police say the former employee got his own gun and shot the security guard. The responding officer shot and killed the suspect near the front of the restaurant.
She called me pretty hysterical.
Ronell McNeil's wife was inside for a graduation party when the shooting happened. He says their group tended to the security guard before first responders took him to a hospital.
We're trying to put towels on his chest before the EMT got to him to get him out.
The GBI is handling the police shooting and no names have been released. Friends of the man who died showed up to the scene in disbelief that he would be described as violent.
This is my close friend and that's why I'm here, and I know his family he's not from here, so I don't know who's here for him. And
so she says he's not from here. Who's here for him? He came here alone. And I mean, one thing these sisters will do, they'll definitely go to bat for these super gremlins, bruh. Okay, if you're doing the right thing, you know, don't count on it. But if you're a super gremlin on demon time, these sisters got your back.
And the GBI is expected to release more information about the shooting tomorrow morning, about what might have led up to this shooting, and also some names of the people involved. We'll, of course, stay with this story. Live in Buckhead, Matt Johnson, WSB.
The mother is expressing her heartbreak and her anger just hours after.
She cold on the left.
She says her son was gunned down by police while having mental health issues.
Yeah, she says this never should have happened. Officers say they shot and killed her son after he shot a security guard at a restaurant in Buckhead.
Okay. So we've got the full context. The mother is already saying that it's mental health issues. My thing is, sisters, come get your kids.
11 Alive's Molly Oak joins us live this morning from Fogo De Chao with the parents. Strong message. They have a strong message both to police and to a lot of other families, Molly.
Yeah, Nygil Cullins' parents say this killing could have and really should have been avoided. Take a look at this picture they gave us this morning. This is a picture of Nygil Cullins. They tell us they called police hours before the shooting. And
hold on, is that a Grayson? It looks like a Grayson High School uniform, football uniform, if I'm not mistaken. So Grayson is actually a little more north Georgia. They got a pretty solid football program, so I don't know why they're saying he didn't have anybody in the area. It's not actually that far from Atlanta.
now we also have new video from ATL Scoop of the moments right after the shooting happened. You can see people scattered around both inside and then also outside the restaurant. APD says that shooting happened at Fogo De Chao off Piedmont Road Northeast after a 911 call about an unruly customer who also had a gun. Police say an officer initially found the man, Cullins, near the bar and tried to take him outside when the officer used his taser. Police say it had a negative effect and Cullins tried to walk out of the restaurant.
So the taser didn't work. Taser, taser, taser.
The security guard tried to tackle him and police say that's when the man shot the security guard.
Damn.
Then police shot Cullins, killing him.
What did he expect? That's my thing, bro. What? You're not getting out of that alive if you're willing to shoot a security guard. I'm sorry.
Today, his parents say they called police earlier to tell them their son was suffering with his mental health and say this all could have been avoided.
My son is deceased. This is an interview that I never wish on my worst enemy.
And you know what? I do feel bad for the parents, but like, if you knew he got mental health issues, then I don't know, keep him at the crib, whatever it is. He shouldn't be out there on his own. So, and I know how difficult it is, trust me, to deal with these young dudes and they not listening or whatever. That is if he really had mental health issues, but obviously you got to be some type of messed up in the head to go into a Fogo de Chao and shoot a security guard in front of the police after being tased. These super gremlins are on demon time.
But I want y'all to know something has to change. And I'm going to be a part of that change. I don't want to see another mother that's out there struggling.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do to, I mean, you can't really do anything about that. He shot a security guard. What did you expect to happen after that? He almost killed a man. He almost killed another man. But I guarantee there wouldn't have been any tears for that shot security guard. Bet she doesn't even know his name. Unfortunately, her son was out here on demon time.
And the worst fear is being killed by a cop.
Now we know that's a lie. You're way more likely to get, I mean, hell, ask the security guard who's way more like who he's way more likely to get shot by, a super gremlin on demon time or a police officer. Keep it a buck.
Georgia Bureau of Investigation is looking into this shooting. As for the security guard, police say he's in stable condition.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Janquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo!
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
that
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit on.
That's that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Janquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
New developments this morning in a deadly shooting involving an officer at a popular Brazilian steakhouse. One man is dead and a security guard injured. We first brought you the story as breaking news last night on WSB tonight at 11. And Channel 2's Darren Moore is live in Buckhead with new information from overnight. Darren, you spoke to the mother and father of the man shot and killed by police.
And yes, I did, Fred. They are very hurt and upset. But overnight, they identified their son as 22-year-old Nygil Cullins. They said he suffered from some mental health issues. They even called 911 to get him some help. But 45 minutes later, Fred, he showed up at this restaurant, and that's where police shot and killed him.
Damn. I mean, it sounds like they tried, but to no avail, man. I'm telling you, these super gremlins, they not listening to nobody, bro.
The parents of 22-year-old Nygil Cullins said their son suffered from mental health issues. Police shot and killed Nygil inside the crowded Brazilian steakhouse, Fogo De Chao. It happened on Piedmont Road in Buckhead.
I would have rather for him to be in a psychiatric hospital opposed to being outside in a body bag.
Atlanta police said he was a former employee of the restaurant. Investigators said he was causing a disturbance and shot a security guard.
Our officers did a great job to isolate the subject to the front of the business where no patrons were in harm's way.
This is video from inside the restaurant moments after the shooting. Officers kept customers away. Nygil's mom said hours before the shooting, she tried to get her son admitted to a hospital. Nygil Cullins said he left the house before medics and police showed up.
That's wild, man. He was having an episode, it looks like, and this is a very unfortunate situation, but at the same time, it's like, what do you expect the officers to do? They have a duty to keep everyone else safe. And quite frankly, this guy Nygil was a super gremlin on demon time.
And he ended up at the restaurant.
They claim was acting unruly. That's not even his character. But again...
Oh, so it's not his character, but he shot a security guard. She forgot to mention that part. It's not his character to act unruly, but he shoots security guards in his free time.
He was not in his right frame of mind because he has mental health issues.
The GBI is handling the police shooting. Nygil's father, Quentin Cullins, said the system failed his son.
Had a heart of gold. He always tried to help everybody. Anybody who know him, he always tried to help people.
And so far, no word on how that security guard is doing, but several people inside that restaurant ran to his rescue until medics were able to get him to the hospital. Fred?
You know, as more information does come out here, Darren, we're going to learn more about the particulars, but the pain for a family this morning who lost a child. Thank you.
This is an interview that I never wish on my worst enemy. But I want y'all to know something has to change.
New this morning, the mother of the man shot and killed by an Atlanta police officer at a Buckhead restaurant is calling for better training for officers when they encounter people with mental health issues. She told us overnight that her son suffered from mental health problems.
Okay, this one, she looked like a Alicia Keys, so she cold as hell, but what the hell are the cops supposed to do when you just shoot a security guard? They're supposed to have patience with you when you're having an episode and shooting security guards? Another black man, most likely? No.
Yeah, last night investigators laid out how the shooting unfolded. They say this started with a 911 call about an unruly man armed with a gun. Officers arrived and tried to escort the man outside.
That's when investigators say an officer shocked him with a taser, but it had no effect. As the man was heading toward the door, a security guard tackled him. A scuffle ensued, and the armed man shot the guard. Then at least one Atlanta officer opened fire, killing the man. Good Day's Brooke Zahner picks up the story. She's live at the restaurant in Buckhead. And Brooke, good morning. What have you learned?
Yeah, good morning to you. Well, we did speak to the victim's parents here several hours ago. Early this morning, they came out here to the scene, and they say this just a matter of hours before this happened, they were attempting to get their son some help. They say that he has some mental health struggles. They had called 911 to get him transported to a mental health facility. They say they waited for about 2 hours, and ultimately their son left and came here.
This is an interview that I never wish on my worst enemy.
Quentin and Nygil Cullins say they're devastated. The couple learned their son, 22-year-old Nygil Cullins, was the man killed by an Atlanta police officer Wednesday night at the Fogo De Chao on Piedmont Road.
I don't want to see another mother that's out there struggling, and their worst fear is being killed by a cop.
And we, like I said, we all know that's not the worst fear that these sisters have to deal with. Okay, so stop the cap. These officers were doing their job. Unfortunately, they had to take your son out. He was trying to kill a security guard. Like I said, what do you expect them to do? And then they're gonna sit here and blame the police officers for keeping everybody in the steakhouse safe. It's not fair.
Nygil's mom says she called Atlanta police just hours before he was shot and killed. She says her son has mental health issues and was not doing well on Wednesday. She says she called 911 to get him taken to a mental health facility.
My biggest fear when I got on the phone with them
I say he's an African-American male. Please make sure whoever shows up is trained and knowledgeable. So when they deal with my son, I don't have to worry about my son being killed.
Nygil's mom says she waited almost 2 hours for help and tried to keep her son at his apartment.
He left out not even 30, 45 minutes later.
And that shows what type of destructive path he was on. And I don't know the extent of his mental health issues, but he was definitely on a destructive path. If he leaves his apartment and 30 minutes later, he goes and, commits attempted murder, honestly, at a former restaurant that he used to work at. Okay? So it's like, what do you expect? And then you're also advocating for defund the police. So yeah, there's going to be a lag in response time because there's a shortage of officers. We did the story on the shortage of vehicles and the homicide detectives who are working nonstop, no vacations. So all of the things that these sisters have been advocating for the last couple of years are coming back to haunt them.
He on the news.
Witnesses who were inside the restaurant when the shots were fired say the whole thing was terrifying. One woman says as soon as she heard the shots, she and her husband ducked under the table for cover.
All of a sudden, everybody's just stepping over each other. Babies are crying and parents are laying on top of babies. And it was really, really a scary situation.
And Nygil's parents went on to say that they believe police failed him yesterday. They say,
oh, wow. Now it's on the police. No, you failed your son. Your son failed himself. And that's something that y'all gotta, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Some of these dudes you just cannot control. And I don't know if that was a biological father. I have no clue. But maybe the father should have yoked his ass up. But if that's not the biological father who was in the interview, which then, stepdaddy can't discipline the son because you ain't my daddy.
Say this whole thing could have turned out a lot different if they had showed up even 15 minutes before he ended up leaving that apartment coming here to Buckhead. But as far as the investigation is concerned, well, the GBI is going to handle that since it was officer involved. That's the latest here in Buckhead. I'm Brooks Honor for Good Day Atlanta.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.